For more than 2,000 years, the Great Wall of China has stretched across mountains, deserts, forests, and grasslands, becoming one of the most recognizable structures ever created by human hands. From space, the wall does not appear as a single unbroken line, but as a vast network of fortifications built, rebuilt, expanded, and strengthened by multiple dynasties over centuries. Today, it stands as a symbol of Chinese civilization, determination, and engineering. Long before the first bricks were laid, northern China was divided into competing kingdoms that constantly fought for land, power, and survival. Beyond their borders, fast-moving nomadic tribes crossed open grasslands with remarkable speed, launching raids that threatened villages, farmland, and trade routes. Individual kingdoms responded by constructing short defensive walls made from locally available materials, hoping to slow invading forces and protect their people. These early barriers were modest compared to what would come later, but they introduced an idea that would eventually reshape the landscape of an entire nation. Everything changed in 221 BC when Qin Shi Huang unified China and became its first emperor. For the first time, many of the rival kingdoms were brought under a single government with one ruler directing the future of the empire. Although the internal wars had ended, the dangers beyond China's northern frontier remained. The emperor understood that defending such a vast territory required more than soldiers stationed at isolated outposts. He envisioned a connected defensive system stretching across mountains and valleys, allowing the empire to detect threats early, move troops efficiently, and strengthen control over its northern border. Turning that vision into reality required one of the largest construction efforts the ancient world had ever seen. Imperial officials, military engineers, surveyors, craftsmen, laborers, soldiers, and local communities were called upon to help build a defensive network unlike anything previously attempted. Some workers were skilled builders with years of experience, while others were conscripted laborers assigned to the project as part of their service to the empire. Every person brought different skills, but together they would face extraordinary physical challenges across some of the harshest terrain in Asia. Before construction could begin, imperial surveyors traveled across thousands of kilometers studying mountains, valleys, rivers, deserts, and narrow mountain passes. Their task was not simply to build a wall wherever possible, but to determine where a defensive barrier would provide the greatest strategic advantage. High ridgelines offered commanding views over surrounding landscapes, allowing guards to spot approaching enemies from great distances. Steep cliffs reduced the amount of wall that needed to be built, while natural valleys guided the routes connecting watchtowers, military outposts, and supply stations. Every decision balanced geography, engineering, military strategy, and the enormous effort required to transport materials into remote wilderness. As surveyors marked the future route using ropes, measuring poles, and carefully recorded observations, thousands of workers began arriving with simple but effective tools. Wooden shovels, iron picks, baskets woven from bamboo, ropes made from natural fibers, wooden mallets, and carrying poles formed the backbone of the construction effort. Long caravans transported food, water, timber, tools, and supplies into regions where few permanent settlements existed. Temporary camps quickly appeared along the planned route, becoming small communities filled with cooks, blacksmiths, carpenters, engineers, soldiers, and laborers preparing for years of demanding work. Unlike many famous monuments built in a single location, the Great Wall presented a completely different engineering challenge. Every kilometer introduced new obstacles. Towering mountains demanded one set of construction techniques, while open grasslands, rocky cliffs, dense forests, and shifting desert sands required entirely different solutions. Rather than forcing one design across every landscape, the builders adapted continuously, using local materials and construction methods that best suited each environment. It was this remarkable flexibility, combined with the determination of countless ordinary people, that allowed the Great Wall to become one of history's greatest engineering achievements. Construction began by clearing the chosen route across mountains, forests, and valleys. Workers removed dense vegetation, leveled uneven ground, and carved narrow paths through rocky hillsides to create stable foundations. In many places, the terrain itself became part of the wall's design, allowing cliffs and ridgelines to strengthen the defensive barrier while reducing the amount of construction required. The earliest sections of the Great Wall were not built from brick or carved stone. Instead, builders relied primarily on rammed earth, one of the strongest and most practical construction techniques available at the time. Layers of soil, gravel, sand, and small stones were placed between large wooden frames and then repeatedly compressed using heavy wooden tampers. Thousands of powerful strikes gradually transformed loose earth into remarkably dense walls capable of surviving for centuries in dry climates. Producing enough building material demanded extraordinary organization. Teams gathered earth from nearby hillsides, riverbanks and valleys, while others collected gravel, clay, timber, and stone from the surrounding landscape. Every region required different materials depending on what nature provided. In dry northern plains, compacted earth became the primary building material. In rocky mountain regions, builders stacked large stones together. In forested areas, timber reinforced retaining walls and temporary construction platforms. Moving these materials across remote terrain became one of the greatest engineering challenges of the entire project. Without wagons capable of climbing steep mountain trails, workers carried heavy loads using shoulder poles, woven baskets, wooden sleds, and simple handcarts wherever possible. But in the steepest mountains, nearly every stone and basket of earth depended entirely on human strength. Construction camps expanded rapidly along the route. Blacksmiths forged replacement tools, carpenters repaired wooden frames and carrying equipment. Military officers maintained order, while scribes recorded supplies, labor assignments, and daily achievements. As the walls slowly climbed ridgelines and crossed valleys, builders constantly adapted their techniques to the environment around them. Steep mountain slopes required retaining walls and carefully stepped foundations. Engineers understood that no single design could survive every landscape. Instead, they continuously modified the wall's dimensions, materials, and construction methods to match the terrain beneath their feet. Watchtowers began rising at strategic intervals. Construction crews pushed farther into difficult terrain, and the enormous defensive network slowly emerged from the mountains. What had begun as an ambitious vision was becoming a physical reality through the determination, endurance, and extraordinary teamwork. Military engineers designed an interconnected defensive network of walls, watchtowers, beacon towers, fortresses, gates, and garrisons that allowed soldiers to communicate quickly. Every section served a specific purpose, creating a system capable of warning nearby forces long before an enemy reached the frontier. Watchtowers were positioned along mountain peaks, ridgelines, and strategic passes, where guards could observe vast stretches of surrounding land. During the day, smoke signals rose into the sky, while fires illuminated the night, allowing warnings to travel from tower to tower in a matter of minutes. The speed of this communication gave military commanders valuable time to prepare defenses, reinforce vulnerable positions, or dispatch troops toward approaching threats. Building these towers required remarkable precision. Massive stone foundations anchored the structures against powerful mountain winds. Narrow staircases, observation platforms, storage rooms, and sheltered guard stations were built inside each tower, allowing soldiers to remain stationed there throughout the year. Supplying these remote outposts presented challenges equal to those faced during construction. During harsh winters, snow often blocked mountain passes, forcing supply teams to find alternative routes or carry provisions by hand across frozen slopes. Life for the builders remained physically demanding. Workers endured intense summer heat, freezing winter temperatures, powerful mountain winds, and exhausting days of manual labor. Blacksmiths repaired broken tools each evening, while carpenters rebuilt damaged scaffolding, sleds, ladders, and wooden construction frames to keep the project moving forward. Despite these hardships, remarkable craftsmanship emerged across the expanding frontier. Experienced masons carefully shaped stones to fit together with exceptional precision. Each obstacle became another lesson that gradually improved one of humanity's most ambitious engineering projects.